Victor Wembanyama at center. I like the sound of that.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Came across this article this morning on Sports Illustrated, and I thought I'd share it with you because I thought it made some interesting points, and I'd like to get your 2 cents. So while I'm going over the video, drop a comment down below. Would you like to see this change made? Do you think Wemby's just too small to play center at all this year? I'll go over my 2 cents while doing this. Hit the thumbs up to help support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our wonderful sports community. Let's get into the article. So far this season, San Antonio Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama has played minutes solely at the power forward position. Greg Popovich wants to change that, but what would that look like? And I think he has played some minutes at center in our small ball lineups in the fourth quarter, but he has started every game at the 4. Generational rookie like Victor Wembanyama doesn't come around very often. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. A player that size with those abilities, I digress. Everything about him is unique, but for the San Antonio Spurs, they're experiencing firsthand what a talent like him looks like on the court, for better and for worse. Touche. The young team has watched Wemby torch opposing defenses from behind the arc down the stretch, out-rebound every player on the court, and send shots back without so much as moving his feet, but also has seen him give up turnovers while facing double teams and take questionable shots. I agree here with Sports Illustrated. We've seen him do some amazing things on the courts. I'd still, to this day, love his reverse dunk alley-oops. It's incredible what he can do. The way he moves 2 steps and then he's dunking. The way he just shoots shots with confidence. Granted, I'd like to see him take less shots, which is where we'd fall into those questionable shots. And the turnovers have been an issue this year. I haven't checked recently, but I believe he's still averaging about 5 turnovers a game. That's obviously a number we want to see come down. Let's continue on with the article. Greg Popovich recently said, "I want Wembanyama to play both center and forward. I don't want him to just be a perimeter player or just a post player. He can affect the game in both areas. He's got to get minutes in both." I agree with Pop, but if we were to start Wemby at center, that would change the starting lineup, wouldn't it? Let's continue on. Wembanyama has played solely at the power forward position. All of his minutes have allowed him to create shots for himself as San Antonio's offense runs through him and the lineup around him. Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Zach Collins complements that. I don't think this lineup gives him the best chance to be the best Wemby that he can be. I'm sure many of you agree with that. He seems to be not seen, if you will, in mismatches, sometimes for open shots. There's actually a replay I watched recently from, I think, the Clippers game, the last Clippers game we had, where Wemby, Sohan, and Jones are running a fast break. Wemby's got nothing but floor in front of him. Jeremy's running the break, and Jeremy's instinct was to pass it to Trey Jones. Trey Jones, being a natural point guard, saw that Wemby was open for an alley-oop, threw the alley-oop, and Wemby threw down the dunk. I'm not blaming Jeremy for this. He's not a point guard. He doesn't have the court vision Trey Jones has, doesn't have the instincts that he has, but it does, raise the question, is the Jeremy Sohan point guard experiment putting our players in the best positions to succeed? Well, they actually touch on that right here. One of the biggest reasons for the Jeremy Sohan experiment was to allow Wembanyama to play at Sohan's position before without displacing the second year out of the starting lineup. It's been iffy at best so far, and I think that's being generous. We're in the midst of a long losing streak, which is why Popovich might be eager to try something new. Moving Wembanyama to the 5 would open things up at the point guard position. Trey Jones, who's come off the bench all season, would get his shot to be the Spurs starting point guard, while Sohan could comfortably revert to his natural position, which is power forward. Now, if the Spurs were to do this, somebody's going to get displaced out of the starting lineup. Many of you said Keldon Johnson would be great off the bench. Keldon's played very well this year. Yeah, he's had a few games here and there where he hasn't played his best basketball, but he's doing much better at facilitating the basketball this year and has been really limiting the turnover, something a lot of the players on the team have struggled with. So I think Keldon's been playing well. Zach Collins has played well for the most part offensively, but defensively he doesn't really give us anything. So I think a starting lineup, if Wemby was to move to the 5, would be Wemby, Sohan, Keldon, Devin, and Trey. This team's, they're going to struggle on defense. Wemby's going to get 1,000,000 blocks, but overall I think this team would struggle on defense. We're probably going to get crushed on the boards. That being said, Zach Collins is not a terrific rebounder, averaging only 6 rebounds a game at the center spot, and he's playing about 30 minutes. So Defensively, we're probably going to take maybe a step backwards, a small step backwards, whatever it is. However, offensively, I think that's going to unlock our full potential with Trey Jones being the natural point guard on our team who started last year, facilitating the offense, making plays. Seeing Wemby when he's open every time for alley-oops or mismatches. Maybe not every time, but I think you get the gist. I think that starting lineup would score more points, and maybe it would just be a new Spurs team for all of us, a run and gun offense where we're not going to beat you with defense like we did with the Twin Towers or the Big Three. We're going to beat you by just outscoring you. And that could be a lot of fun to watch too. Man, the Spurs gave up 130 points tonight, but we scored 135, so we won. And hey, I'll take that right now. I'll take that until we have our starting five, which will not be this of the next decade, or maybe it will be. Who knows? But I'd like to see Pop make a change. I like Zach Collins. I know he got the 2-year extension. I just don't believe he's the starting center for this team long term. Sorry, Zach, if you're watching the video, which I'm sure you're not. Close out the article. Wemby would need to get more rebounds, and he has been rebounding much better lately. Play down low and facilitate passes from the three-point line in the post, while Jones would need to find ways to get him open and create shots for the other three players in the lineup. It could work, but it's definitely going to take some getting used to for Wembanyama and company. Then again, trying new things is exactly what this season is for, and I'm for this. I know Trey Jones is not a great three-point shooter, but I think we need to try to change something up right now. We're in the midst of a long losing streak, and if we don't beat the Hawks, I think it could be... we got to beat DeJounte and the Hawks. Come on. So I'd like to see one move to center. Now, if we're playing a team with a really big bruising center, then maybe we do put Zach in the starting lineup. This is an experimental year. We're not making the playoffs the way we're playing right now, so why not try different things? And that's one thing Pop did a lot last year. Granted, it was because of injuries, but he changed the starting lineup a lot. Why not start tinkering with now? What do we got to lose? We're already losing, so let's see what happens with Wemby at center against certain teams and run with Jeremy at power forward, and Kelvin, Devin, and Trey. I'm all on board. Question is Pop, is Wemby, and Spurs fans, are you? Again, let me know in the comments down below. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow night. The Spurs versus the Hawks. Spurs versus old teammate DeJounte Murray. I believe Patty Mills is there, right? So 2 former Spurs. That's going to be a lot of fun. And we have a back-to-back this week, playing on Friday as well. It's all good. Anyway, thank you all. Until next time, and as always, go Spurs, go.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.